Malcolm was known as a boutique owner with his then girlfriend Vivian Westwood. He was also a writer, musician, artist and clothes designer. His designs appeared in the Rocky Horror Show and That'll Be the Day. They then went to New York and supplied clothes for the New York Dolls and joined them on parts of their tour. Mclaren was best known as the promoter and manager of the Sex Pistols. When he was managing the Sex Pistols, he famously recruited the frontman Johnny Rotten, who was well known for his outspoken personality. Mclaren is recognised as largely initiating the punk rock movement. Mclaren died on the 8th of April 2010 from a type of cancer that attacks the lining of the abdomen in a Swiss hospital. Tributes poured in from friends, associates and fans, including Johnny Rotten. In a coffin sprayed with the slogan, "Too fast to live, too young to die," Mclaren's funeral was attended by Westwood, some of the Sex Pistols bandmates and celebrities such as Bob Geldof and Adam Ant. The funeral was held at a deconsecrated church in central London and he was buried in Highgate. His headstone features a bronze death mask of Talkie Malky that was cast by a sculptor called Nick Reynolds, son of the late great train robber Bruce Reynolds. Tom Sawyers was an English bare-knuckle fighter in prize fighting. In his career, lasting from 1849 until 1860, he became quite well known. In his fighting career, he only lost one of 16 bouts. This was to a Nat Langham. He often took on much heavier men than himself, and he weighed in at no more than 150 pounds. In his final fight, he faced American champion John Camel Heenan in a contest which was widely considered to be boxing's first world championship. It ended in chaos when the spectators invaded the ring and the referee finally declared a draw. He retired shortly after this fight. He made some public appearances in his early retirement. It was noticed on one of his final appearances that he looked very unwell. He took to staying in his house where he was found to have consumption and diabetes. He died 5 years after his retirement, aged only 39. His funeral was the biggest funeral ever seen in London. The procession was thought to have been 2 miles long, and it's thought some 100,000 people attended. The chief mourner and the only one sitting in his funeral cart was his dog, a mastiff called Lion, who still lies beside his grave depicted in the statue. Bruce Reynolds was an English criminal who masterminded the 1963 Great Train Robbery. At the time, it was Britain's largest robbery, netting equivalent to £55 million today. Reynolds spent 5 years on the run before being sentenced to 25 years in 1969. He was released in 1978 and the bulk of the money stolen during the Great Train Robbery had never been recovered. He died on the afternoon of the 28th of February 2013 at the age of 81. Reynolds' death mask was sculpted by his son Nick Reynolds, who also did the mask on Malcolm McLean's grave. George Wombwell. In 1810, Wombwell founded the Wombwell Travelling Menagerie and began to tour the fairs of Britain. By 1839 it totalled 15 wagons and was accompanied by a brass band and became very profitable. Wombwell bred and raised many animals himself, including the first lion to be bred in captivity in Britain. He named it William in honour of William Wallace. Prince Albert once gave him some timber from the Royal George. Wombwell made himself a coffin and showed it in his exhibitions. Wombwell died in the 1850s and was buried in the coffin he made. His tomb has a statue of his lion, called Nero, guarding his resting place.